Redditors who have given their souls another chance after getting cheated on. How's your relationship now? Over. We were ducking miserable for another 3 months, then it ended. We're now sort of friends when we can be bothered. He tried to cheat on me with his ex, but she turned him down. I found out when I found texts from her basically telling him he needed to sort himself out and stop dicking me around. I never met his ex, but if there's some sort of general sisterhood solidarity type award, she ducking deserves it. Divorced. Never should have tried to salvage it. Still bitter. Hope something terrible happens to her, like she steps on a Lego or something. She cheated on me 2 more times and left me. Had another failed marriage after me and, according to mutual friends, is now married to the guy I caught her cheating with about 20 years ago. I am no longer with her, but I did try to give her another chance. It just doesn't work. Once that initial trust has been broken, it's impossible to keep your mind from wandering and thinking she's out sucking some other dude's big dick whenever you haven't heard from her in a while. Oops, she did it again. She played with my heart. Got up on some big digs. She's not that innocent. We both cheated while he was doing a study abroad. We both confessed when he got home. We were both hurt, but not as mad as we would have expected. We started discussing non-monogamy and 8 years later are polyamorous. Our relationship is great now. It's been over 4 years since the cheating. And what I think really made it work was me getting my own apartment in a shitty unit and him seeing it. When about half my stuff was moved in, it really hit him hard that this was where we were. He said he absolutely did not want his GF and son living in an apartment. He wanted better for us and vowed to change 100%, and he did. Overall, we have been together 13 years and have been engaged for the past few years. No big rush on getting married. We are just happy with the way things are now. I trust him 100% and he trusts me as well. I let him go out lots where my friends can't understand that. I tell them that if he wants to cheat he will find a way. And I trust that he won't. I'm not into leashing anyone. If they want to risk it, they know the consequences. But yes, have come a long way. Been around 7 years and it is still really hard for me to trust her despite everything being great for 7 years. Doesn't help that she had lied and cheated on numerous occasions, and I would imagine that is only what I found out about. I don't know if I will ever be able to get her a ring. If I could go back, I wouldn't give her a second chance. This is a throwaway, so I won't be logging back in for replies. My so got cheated on early in her college life. She said it was easier to forgive than one would think. She caught him again later and it was done with. The weird part is that it's been like 8 years and he still has a thing for her and thinks of me as the guy with his ex. Which I am. But it's weird to be upset that someone is dating your ex who broke up with you 8 years ago for cheating. My wife's ex is sort of the same way. Wife and I have been married over 5 years and dated for like 3 or 4 years before that. Her ex was a loser. Always running around on her. Typical college guy shit, when we actually were in college. Now we're in our 30s and he has on numerous occasions tried to message her. Via email. Facebook. Through her siblings. I mean, she's great. But, you know. Almost a decade on. It's time to get over it. Non-existent. For the best. I forgave him after I found out about the first time he cheated on me. He was drunk at a New Year's party. And he told me he kissed another girl. So I went. Oh, okay. It's not a big deal. You just kissed a girl at midnight. Whatever. From then on I always had a suspicion that he was cheating on me with other people. But just didn't have the proof. So I tried to convince myself. Oh, it's just from that stupid incident that happened years ago. Then cut to 3 years later I find out about the 30 other women he cheated on me with, all different degrees. I don't get how people can try again. But good for those who made it work. I couldn't even be friends with my ex that cheated on me. She asked me if we could. But I told her, no. A friend is someone I know I can trust and I just can't trust you anymore. cheated on me again. Lied to me about why she wanted a divorce. Left me for some older washed up dude at her work. Needless to say, I found myself in a much better position and feel like I woke up from a crazy ducking dream all these years. She's also a Redditor. If you're reading this, Mel, I hope you piss a kidney stone. : My girlfriend since high school. We were in college at the time. Made out with a guy in Mexico. The next day she called me long distance crying and told me everything. She got drunk. They were dancing at a club and she made a stupid mistake. At the time, we broke up. I was so angry I just broke up with her on the spot. I was in a parking lot in Nashville with a long distance calling card breaking up with my girlfriend. It took a little bit for me to realize, strangely, what an awesome person she was for confessing. I later learned that all of her friends there tried to talk her out of calling me and confessing. But she called me anyway. We had been dating for 3 years at the time, so it hurt. After college I moved to Chile for 4 years. We kept in touch. I moved back to the US because I had a shot at getting back together with her. We've been married for over a year now and have a 8-month-old daughter. She's the best thing that has ever happened to me. Edit, my story is kinda unique. I believe that someone who cheats might always be that way. But there are exceptions. Also, if someone is cheating on their so-to-be with you, then get ready to be cheated on later on down the road. She promised me she wouldn't talk to him anymore, then breaks up with me saying she's not happy and just wants a break, then removes me from FB. I guess so I wouldn't see her picture posted the next day with the same guy at a football game. This was last week. Her Instagram says the date when they started, which was 5 days before we broke up. So it's not good. Edit, thanks for the kind words, strangers. I'm pushing through, slowly, but still pushing. Toxic. We were engaged when he cheated. We are not now. He's manipulative and has control over everything I do. For example, if I don't text him back immediately, he assumes I'm somewhere I shouldn't be. If my phone goes off and I'm with him, he asks who it was and what they said. If I try to reason with him for the sake of my privacy, he turns it into me hiding things. He's scared I will cheat on him to get back at him for cheating on me. He won't take initiative to be a better person and treat me better, but also refuses to see me with someone who will. It's a roller coaster every day and I've tried so hard to move past what he didn't make something work, but I can feel myself slipping away. I just want to be myself again. I want to be able to give myself to someone the way I did for him. But for the right person, someone who will respect me and cherish it. Sometimes life just sucks. It gets better. Right? Right, Dart. In jail. I told her I couldn't do it again cause I just couldn't forget how much she hurt me the first time. She got caught a month later trying to deal pills during the youth service at a local church. Turns out nobody bought from her and it was the kids that called the cops. Good job, kids. Stay out of Drew Gus. I've forgiven. But I've never forgotten. Things are much better now. But we had to pull our shit together in the face of something much bigger than our marriage, taking sudden custody of my stepson. It's taken a long time. But the trust has been rebuilt. Still, there is a small part of me that will never get over it. Which I have been open about with him. She cheated on me with one of my best friends. I actually figured it out rather quickly. I gave her a second chance. Even paid for couples counseling and tried to open up the lines of communication. In the end, though, turns out that she never stopped seeing him. And I broke things off after she tried to convince me that it was a polyamorous relationship and I was being polyphobic. She still sees nothing wrong with what she did and I haven't talked to her since. We were together for 2 years. I got suspicious after I caught him going through my phone. So a few weeks later I went through his and discovered that he had. I always told myself I would never stay with someone who did that. But we had been together for so long and I loved him so much I thought I could get past it. Every time he would stay out late or be ambiguous with where he was or who he was with, I felt suspicious. Every time we would go to the bar and someone would flirt with him, I would feel resentful and jealous. I think the worst part about it was knowing that he had been able to lie to me for so long. Have sex. Tell me he loved me. And looking back, knowing that he knew what he had done and still kept that inside him made me realize deep down that I could never trust him again. We continued dating, hating each other for a few months, and eventually he dumped me. It's all really for the best because he never really cared about our relationship as much as I did, in my opinion. And I wasn't strong enough to end what should have ended the moment I found out that his big dig was more in control of his actions than his head. Still together. Have 2 beautiful children and a third on the way. Every time it seems things are about to end, she gets knocked up, and it makes things better for a while. Considering I am sterile. Jesus has blessed us. Over. I really did forgive her. But she had so much internal guilt over it she couldn't be happy around me. She hated herself. So after 4 months of that, she just moved out one day. The whole idea of that relationship was a minduck. We got legally married shortly after the incident. And more than 2 years later we still are. So. Pretty good. It's not always perfect. And I'll admit that at times I want to bring it up to win arguments. But I don't, because we agreed to move past it completely. Non-existent. I ended up breaking up with him several months later for narcissistic tendencies, anger issues, and inability to communicate. I wish I had dumped him the second I found out he cheated. Would have saved me a lot of heartache. And after we broke up, he blew up my phone, called my parents, and showed up on my property unannounced. I had to change my phone number, and my dad gave him money to leave us alone. Man. I remember when I found out she was cheating. The searing pain of regret. Feeling absolutely betrayed and ashamed of myself. I spent a long time blaming myself. I wasn't good enough for her not to cheat on me. I felt absolutely worthless. I sat her down one day. She was all giggles and smiles when I sat her down, but I think she knew something was on my mind. "What's the matter, baby?" And so on. You could see her squirm. I am sure she knew that I knew. After a few minutes of awkward silence and "Look, we need to talk," I just came right out with it. By then she was in tears. "I know what you've been doing. I know all about it. I know about your cheating. No, you got it wrong, baby. It's not like that. I never cheated on you." She bawled. I can still remember the way she was so utterly destroyed on the couch. It broke my heart again. I grabbed the box and set it down on the table nearby. We discussed our relationship, where we were and where we were heading. We talked about our finances and our real estate and decided that we would have another go. A fresh start, but with one very important change. From that night on, I was the banker. She hasn't cheated at Monopoly since. I found out my husband cheated, and then admitted I had also. I wanted a divorce. He didn't. So I agreed to go to counseling, but also went and met with a divorce attorney. I don't know if it was the greatest or worst divorce attorney, but she spoke so hatefully of my husband that it angered me. And it was then I realized I still loved him. I started putting some effort into the counseling, and both of our walls came down. It was hard. But it's been 7 years, and we've had 2 kids in the past 18 months, and we have the best marriage out of anyone I know. We're the people other people want their marriage to be like. I trust him completely. We cheated because our relationship was shitty and we weren't putting any effort into it. Now, it's wonderful and I wouldn't do a thing to screw it up. It's rough. I try my best to trust him, but it's hard. I don't have much confidence in myself anymore because he cheated. No matter how much he says I am his girl, I can't help think that he'll up and leave. I feel dead inside. I have trust issues. It sucks. The first time was online stuff. Pictures talking. I forgave him. Second time was real. Sleeping with another person. An insane person at that. Who faked a pregnancy and still tries to contact him. Our relationship never fully recovered. I love him. But do I trust him? Not really. Even when things are amazing. It is always there. I will always know that he broke my heart. That he hurt me more than I could have ever imagined. That he broke my trust. It never goes away. And sometimes the worry creeps back up. Sometimes the anger. It is hard not to throw it in his face. It is hard to forgive him. IDK, it feels to me like you broke a glass, and even if you glue all the pieces back together, it will never look the same. There are still cracks and it is never going to be as strong as it once was.